The NBA draft is right around the corner. As this is being recorded, we have just 2 days until the draft officially happens, so this will be the fifth and final full first round mock draft on this channel. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. But before we continue, please like the video and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a banger. Now let's get started. With the first pick, the Pistons take Cade Cunningham out of Oklahoma State. Detroit won't overthink this and will use their #1 overall draft choice to take the best player available here, which most people believe to be Cade. Other teams are aggressively trying to trade up and acquire the #1 pick from Detroit because everybody wants Cunningham. The Pistons will disregard other teams' offers because they're not going to pass up on the opportunity to take a generational talent. Cade has future superstar written all over him, which means Detroit basketball is finally back. With the second pick, the Rockets take Jalen Green out of the G League Ignite. Thanks to his next level athleticism and offensive skill set, Green has the potential to be a big time scorer in the NBA for a very long time. The Rockets may also consider Evan Mobley, but Green appears to be the prospect that they're locking in on at pick #2. Just 6 months after the James Harden trade, the future in Houston now looks very bright. With the third pick, the Cavaliers select Evan Mobley. Many scouts see Mobley as a future superstar. According to Chad Ford of ESPN, Evan Mobley is Chris Bosh on offense and Anthony Davis on defense. If you look at his game, Mobley is an athletic 7-footer that can protect the rim at a high level and switch onto the perimeter on defense. And he can attack off the bounce, shoot jumpers, and pass very well on offense. Mobley is the definition of an NBA unicorn. The Cavaliers will be very happy to end up with Mobley with the #3 pick. With the fourth pick, the Raptors take Jalen Suggs out of Gonzaga. It's been recently reported that the Raptors are overwhelmingly expected to take Suggs in the upcoming draft, so it's hard to imagine Suggs not ending up a Toronto Raptor. With Suggs, the Raptors are getting a super competitive and very athletic point guard that led Gonzaga to the championship game. He needs to improve his outside shot, but he does everything else extremely well. With Kyle Lowry likely out, Suggs could fit in nicely alongside Fred VanVleet in the backcourt. With the fifth pick, the Orlando Magic select Jonathan Kuminga out of the G League Ignite. The Magic will consider Barnes, but they'll ultimately take Kuminga on draft night. Kuminga didn't shoot the ball well in the G League, but he's a big, athletic wing player with great potential on both ends of the floor. The rebuilding Magic will bank on him reaching an all-star level. With the sixth pick, the OKC Thunder select Scottie Bares out of Florida State. The Thunder are still at the early stages of their rebuild, so best player available will matter more than fit. At the sixth pick, that's definitely Barnes. He brings tremendous size for the small forward position at 6'9" with a 7'3" wingspan, and he has the skills at that size that you rarely see. He can handle, pass, and defend extremely well. He needs to work on his 3-ball, but his upside as a player is very tantalizing. Barnes is a great addition to OKC's rebuild. With the seventh pick, the Warriors take James Bouknight out of UConn. The Warriors are currently shopping this pick for a veteran that can help the team win now, but if they keep this pick, they'll roll with Bouknight. Bouknight is one of the best pure scorers in this draft. He's a shifty ball handler that can beat defenders and get all the way to the rim or create space to get off his mid-range pull-up. The Warriors need more scoring, making Bouknight a nice fit, and at just 20 years old, he could be a building block for the future. With the eighth pick, the Magic select Moses Moody out of Arkansas. The Orlando Magic desperately need to add some more shooting to their roster, and Moody would help to accomplish that goal. Moody is a knockdown 3-point shooter, and he's also a great defender, where his excellent physical tools at 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan really help him to guard extremely well. And he's also capable of putting the ball on the floor and getting to the rim, or creating his own shot off the dribble. For Orlando, Moody will be a nice 3-and-D player with the potential to also become a legit scorer. With the ninth pick, the Kings select Alperen Şengün out of Turkey. Şengün is one of the more underrated players in this draft. He dominated the Turkish league at just 18 years old. He's got a big body at 6'10 and 240 pounds, and he uses that size and strength to dominate opponents on the block. He's got really good touch and footwork down low, and he also passes really well out of the post. While he lacks agility on defense, the potential to be an elite center is there. With the 10th pick, the Grizzlies select Franz Wagner out of Michigan. The Grizzlies recently traded up in a deal with the Pelicans that had them moving from 17 to 10. At this range, the prospect that makes the most sense to me is Wagner, since they need help on the wing. Wagner does a lot of things on the court at a high level. He's a very good defender, he can shoot the 3-ball, and he can handle the ball and pass. He isn't a high ceiling prospect, but he can come in right away and contribute to winning basketball. With the 11th pick, the Hornets take Kai Jones out of Texas. The Hornets need size, and Jones is one of the top centers in this draft. He's long and athletic and makes a big impact on both ends of the floor. He's a good rebounder and rim protector on defense, and on offense, his athleticism makes him a great lob target, and he's even shown the potential to knock down threes. Jones could be Charlotte's long-term center, and he could be a really nice fit alongside LaMelo Ball. With the 12th pick, the Spurs select Usman Garuba out of Spain. The Spurs need a center, and Garuba is arguably the best defensive big in this draft. He may be undersized for a center at just 6'8", but he more than makes up for it with a long 7'3" wingspan, hustle, and athleticism. He's a terrific rim protector, and he also possesses the ability to guard perimeter players as well. On offense, most of his baskets are going to come right at the rim, but he can pass pretty well, and he's shown the potential to space the floor. Garuba is a great pickup for the San Antonio Spurs. With the 13th pick, the Pacers select Davion Mitchell out of Baylor. Mitchell is a super competitive point guard that led Baylor to the NCAA championship. Mitchell was an absolute lockdown defender at the college level, which earned him the nickname Off Night. He's also explosive getting to the rim, a nice playmaker, and a great three-point shooter. Overall, Mitchell is a quality guard that should be a nice backup for Indiana next year. With the 14th pick, the Warriors select Ziaire Williams out of Stanford. Williams' draft stock has been on the rise since the draft combine, where he displayed his excellent physical tools and athleticism. He's 6'9" with a 6'10" wingspan, and he's an explosive athlete. His shooting percentages in his freshman year at Stanford were bad, but he still showed plenty of flashes that had scouts believing in his upside. He can handle the ball, he can create his own shot, he can defend, and he has good passing abilities. The Warriors will take Williams here due to his all-star upside. With the 15th pick, the Wizards take Keon Johnson out of Tennessee. With Bradley Beal appearing to be on the verge of a trade request, it would make the most sense for the Wizards to take a high-ceiling prospect for their inevitable rebuild. Johnson is a 6'5" guard with freakish athleticism that can turn into a great two-way player in the league. On offense, he uses that insane bounce to finish above the rim, and he's also an excellent on-ball defender. Keon's upside is too high for Washington to pass up on here. With the 16th pick, the Thunder take Josh Giddey out of the NBL. Giddey is a 6'8" point guard with elite passing and ball handling skills. He's able to beat defenders and finish at the rim pretty well, and his amazing size allows him to see over the defense and fully unlocks his playmaking. He's got to get better as a shooter and defender, but Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can turn into an incredible backcourt. With the 17th pick, the Pelicans take Corey Kispert out of Gonzaga. Kispert isn't a high upside prospect, but he's one of the best shooters in this draft, which should help him to immediately aid a playoff team. He shot 44% from 3 last year on 6 attempts a game. The Pelicans are in need of more shooting around their star duo of Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, making Kispert a nice fit. With the 18th pick, the Thunder take a Jalen Johnson out of Duke. Johnson was once projected to be a top 5 pick, but his draft stock has taken a hit with the limited games he played at Duke this year. he still has a very intriguing upside. He's a very athletic 6'9" forward with a nice skill set on both ends of the court. On offense, he can handle the ball, attack the rim, and pass. And on defense, he's versatile enough to guard multiple positions. The rebuilding Thunder will take Johnson with the hopes that they can help him reach his upside. With the 19th pick, the Knicks select Tre Mann out of Florida. Tre Mann is a 6'5" combo guard that really excels at scoring the basketball. He can break down defenders off the bounce and get all the way to the rim or get to his mid-range pull-up. And he's lights out from downtown, where he shot 40% from 3 last year. The Knicks have been looking for a long-term solution at point guard for years now, and Mann could finally be that answer. With the 20th pick, the Hawks select Jared Butler out of Baylor. Butler is one of the more underrated prospects in this draft. He's a 6'3" combo guard that does a lot of things on the court at a high level. He's a knockdown three-point shooter where he hit 42% of his threes last year. He also really excels as a scorer off the dribble, and he can also play make and defend. Butler can lead Atlanta's second unit while also playing some minutes alongside Trae Young. With the 21st pick, the Knicks selects Trey Murphy out of Virginia. Trey Murphy can fit on any team as a nice 3-and-D player. He's an excellent defender, where his physical tools at 6'9" and a 7'1" wingspan really help him to guard multiple positions. He's also a good off-the-ball scorer, where he's a knockdown three-point shooter and an excellent cutter. The Knicks can plug Murphy right into their lineup and he can contribute to winning basketball. With the 22nd pick, the Lakers select Chris Duarte out of Oregon. While Anthony Davis going down is the main reason the Lakers lost to the Suns, that playoff series also exposed LA's severe lack of shooting. This is why Duarte makes sense, because he's one of the best 3-and-D prospects in this draft. Duarte shot 42% from 3 last year on 5 attempts a game, and he's an excellent defender both on and off the ball. Duarte should be able to immediately provide the Lakers some much-needed help. With the 23rd pick, the Rockets select JT Thor out of Auburn. Thor is an athletic 6'9" forward with a long 7'3" wingspan. He not only blocks shots extremely well, but he can also get out on the perimeter and defend. On offense, he's mostly an inside finisher, but he's flashed the ability to hit from the outside and handle the rock. JT Thor is a project, but for a rebuilding team like Houston, he makes a lot of sense. With the 24th pick, the Rockets select JT Thor's teammate, Sharife Cooper. Cooper is an absolute speed demon that can blow by defenders and get to the basket at will. And he's also one of the best playmakers in this draft, as he's coming off a year averaging over 8 assists per game at Auburn. There's concerns about his size and shooting, but for Houston, he could be their point guard of the future. With the 25th pick, the Clippers select Cameron Thomas out of LSU. With Kawhi Leonard likely out for all of next year, the Clippers need guys that can score the basketball. So it only makes sense for them to take one of the best scorers in the draft in Cameron Thomas. Thomas has the entire package scoring-wise. He can put the ball in the hole from all 3 levels, and he's great at drawing contact, where he shot 88% from the free throw line last year. Cameron Thomas could be a steal for the Clippers at pick 25. With the 26th pick, the Nuggets select Jaden Springer out of Tennessee. Springer is a 6'4" combo guard that can score in a variety of ways, whether it's exploding to the basket or knocking it down from deep. He's also a very good on-ball defender. The Nuggets have an immediate need in the backcourt, with Jamal Murray sidelined with a torn ACL, making Springer a nice fit. With the 27th pick, the Nets take Isaiah Jackson out of Kentucky. The Nets are the favorite for next year's title as long as they're healthy, but they could use some more size and defense. Isaiah Jackson was one of the top defenders in college basketball. He's a terrific shot blocker and rebounder, and he can even slide onto the perimeter defensively as well. Jackson can bolster Brooklyn's weak interior defense. With the 28th pick, the Sixers select Miles McBride out of West Virginia. McBride can score at the basket, play make, and light it up from downtown, where he hit 40% of his threes last year. He's also a great on-ball defender, where his 6'9" wingspan and elite lateral quickness help him to shut opponents down. McBride could be a high-level backup for Philly next year. With the 29th pick, the Suns select Bones Hyland out of VCU. The Suns may not be able to keep Cam Payne, so it makes sense for them to draft a backup point guard. Hyland is a 6'2" scoring point guard that can absolutely light it up from outside. Most of his threes come off the bounce, and he's just as capable of beating defenders all the way to the rim. Hyland can be a nice backup behind Chris Paul and potentially become the Suns' franchise point guard. And finally, with the 30th pick, the Utah Jazz select Greg Brown out of Texas. Brown is a 6'8" combo forward with a nice skill set on both ends of the floor. On defense, he's a good shot blocker that can also guard the perimeter, while on offense, he runs the floor hard, can finish inside, and he has potential to stretch it from deep. Brown could potentially be a nice addition to the Jazz's lineup. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Do you like my picks? Who do you want your team to take in the draft? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.